Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy podcast. I'm Troy Hill, joined here with Kyle and Lisa Lee. Cowboys had a big game on Thanksgiving, a victory of 45-10 over the Washington Commanders. What's your guys' thoughts on this game? I was highly impressed. Well, let's go ahead and start off with you, Kyle.
Yeah, it was kind of closer than it should have been, around halftime, and then Dallas just pulled away like they do, man. In the second half, they just, these teams with lesser talent, and they just they can't keep up with Dallas. So eventually, the talent just wins out. So yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, it's pretty reminiscent of you're mentioning even with the Carolina game. It seems like it started off a little bit slow, but
Yeah.
they're doing things now that championship teams do. They make teams go night night. What's your thoughts, Lisa Lee?
Here we go. That's all I can hear in my sleep. It's Jack's cadence. But no, yeah, I'm the same. I felt like we toyed around with them longer than we should have. I would love for it to be a blowout at halftime, but then, we've had games like that where then we completely let off the gas and then it ends up being closer anyway, So, I mean, yeah, exactly. They did what they were supposed to do. And eventually they were like, okay, looked at their watches, like, yeah, let's put these folks to bed. It's time to go home. So,
it was like it was yeah, it was like I said, like that team will if they abandon the run, they play right into Dallas's hands. And that's what happened. They sacked this guy a million times. They got the interceptions, you know what I mean? And he's just chucking the ball up. And like I said, it just, because the score got so far away from him, that's what they had to resort to. And I'll take that all day.
Yeah,
So,
offensively, Dak chucking the ball all over the place. Still looking razor sharp. Running game still coming around. Offensive line starting to block way better. I mean, it's kind of like it's hard that a few weeks ago we were so paranoid about this offensive line, and now they gotten it all together. On the running game though, I like to mention, yeah, they're not getting like all the things that maybe some fans would want, being all fancy smancy, scoring touchdowns and running all over the place. But at the same time, I love this angry running by both running backs. What's your thoughts, Lisa?
yeah, I feel like it's like and I feel like Tony Pollard, he kind of started looking like the Tony Pollard that got the franchise tag. You know what I mean? Like he started running. It's almost like something clicked and he's over the injury finally. You know what I mean? Like he looked to have that burst again, and then when he got inside that one run where he actually did score, it was kind of that hard nosed. But I kind of like the different running styles. Like Rico definitely runs like angry runs. Like he's hard nosed, hard hitting, but he's still quick. And I feel like Tony has a little more finesse. I like the two-headed monster for sure.
Yep, I think it totally works with our system, and I think that's something that Kyle can attest to. He's talked about it several times about just the nature or the state of the running back in the NFL. This kind of falls exactly into what you were kind of talking about. Is that correct, Kyle?
yeah, I mean, and you know, there's a lot to be said about the offensive line playing together finally. And, we talked about Pollard, we don't know for sure, getting over injury, but like Terrence Steele, it's finally playing like Terrence Steele. I think, Tyler Biotic, he got hurt in training camp. I mean, Zach Martin rolled an ankle in training camp. You know what I mean? And he missed half a training camp. He got hurt week 2 or 3, rolled an ankle or something. We know Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith is playing like old Tyron Smith. You know what I mean? Like he is playing well. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that bye week came at the right time. This line, I feel like they're finally healthy, and you could tell the holes are opening up better. You know what I mean? They haven't allowed a sack in 2 games. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the line is. I think that's why the running backs are playing better. The line's playing better. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yep. And let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Once again, I mean, the Cowboys are just defensively, granted they still do some things that kind of drives me nuts as far as penalties here and there, maybe lining up, things like that. But all in all, they're doing a pretty good damn job, all the way across the board. And even if Mike is not getting there, there's always somebody else coming along. So what you thought? What are your thoughts on the defense, Kyle?
Yeah, like you said, there's always they always have like one or two drives. Like, what the hell are these guys doing? How is everybody getting so wide open? But like, I just looked at it. The last two games, it was 10 points, 10 points. You know what I mean? Like, 17 points. Like they always end up coming together. You know what I mean? It's just like I said, they adjust or they just like I said, teams get away from what they should be doing and they play right into our hands. And like I said, I think they're just all around just a good team on every level. They're playing really well right now. So you're right. If it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
Micah, it's someone else, Dorrance Armstrong or whoever. You know what I mean? It's someone. Everybody's getting there. It seems like this year.
yep,
So
exactly. And we got to give
yeah.
some credit where credit's due. Bland is
Mm-hmm.
Bland is just outstanding. I mean, it's just not enough I can say about this guy. I mean, he's just been locked in cheat mode and Madden and stuff
Mm.
now for the next several weeks. So last
Yeah.
several weeks. So what's your thoughts, Lisa Lee, on Bland?
Well, I feel like it's crazy because I feel like he was struggling a little bit. Not like I feel like the first 2.5 quarters, not
Hmm.
just him. I felt like the secondary as a whole seemed like they were about a step, like Kyle said earlier, like a step and a half behind. Like it felt like the Washington receivers were open a lot. But
Hmm.
then it's like even with him, like that switch got flipped. I mean, I don't know that it did, but it's like once they start feasting on the quarterback, then it's like, okay, everything tightens up and then you get what you get. But like his ability to jump the route, but then, like immediately when he caught it, like the call, Jim Nantz was like, here it is. And then he realized, oh crap, he's still got like 30 yards or whatever, 25 to get to the end zone. And there were people like,
Hmm.
commanders like coming in, and it was like, but his ability to jump the route and then to actually find the end zone. Now, a lot of his have been kind of like walk-ins, but
Yeah. No, he
he's
had to
just
weave.
got that nose. And
Yeah, he
it's
had to weave
just,
around a little bit this time.
yeah. And it was like, I think the cool thing too for me was, I don't know if y'all have watched the sounds from the sideline. The entire sideline, Dak Prescott, number one, you see him in the video, like running down the sideline when when Bland got that interception, but the entire sideline just erupted and they were like so excited for him. And I just feel like it's a kind of a byproduct of what Kyle said. Like they're playing so well and they genuinely, this team, I haven't heard any bad things, coming out of like the locker room, and they genuinely care about each other. And it's starting to show. I mean, it shows on the field. And when you're playing well, like they are, in spite of all the, national media or even,
Hmm.
about you haven't played anybody, shut up. Like that narrative is so, it's just played. It's just old and played. But like, it's just really cool to see them playing right now.
Hmm. And you bring up an excellent point, Lisa Lee, about the we haven't played anyone thing. I mean, it is old because at the end of the day, I mean, granted, yes, we lost to Philadelphia, and yes, we lost to the 49ers, but I mean, the Niners, they've done beat some below 500 teams along the way too. And the Eagles, they've struggled against some of these teams. They're below 500, barely squeaked out a win.
All
So
of them. They've struggled
yeah,
with every single one of them.
and which I will say again that they're the most overrated 10-1 team in the history of the NFL. And I'm gonna keep on saying if the number keeps on going up, so be it. Because I don't see anything about that team that they do that makes me say, "Oh my God, I'm scared." But again, just back to the not beating. I don't understand where all of a sudden it's a thing because it's the Cowboys. People try to come with me on that about on my Facebook account. I'm just like, no, I don't care about people's lack of faith in Dak. I don't care what other people think about who we played. We're winning now, and Dak is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So why would I not be happy about how my team? So I can't celebrate. They make you try and feel like that. You cannot celebrate your team winning.
I mean, even Joy Taylor, who we know how she's had an opinion the last several months, even she said they can't help who's on their schedule.
Yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous.
And
Um,
and we're not just beating the bad teams, we're blowing the doors off of them.
yeah,
Like
so
I
if
think
you
our average win total, I mean our average point differential is like 23 and a half.
yeah, it's ridiculous. but we still can't get no love, which at the end of the day, it's fine. What's your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, to steal a quote from Mike Tomlin, I'm not apologizing for wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A win's a win.
That's
Shit, I
true.
mean, yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is like the year the Patriots went 16-0. Does anybody remember what teams they beat? And when the Giants went 9-7 and won the Super Bowl, does anyone know what teams they beat? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like,
I could tell you one thing, that the Giants probably played higher caliber teams, and they weren't like stranded in like one of the worst conferences for like a decade, like the Patriots were.
Yeah,
so, anyway.
Exactly.
but
I mean,
no one ever made that argument about them.
All right.
I mean, like, is it we've got 3 losses at this point. We have 3 losses. We're about to be in December. We have 3 losses. You know what I mean? How many teams can say that right now? You know what I mean? I mean, the way I look at it is like, we have so 3 losses. I think one was a bad loss. That was the bad loss to me was the Arizona game. That was a bad loss because you should have won that game. We have one embarrassing loss. That was the San Fran game. And I'm not a moral victory guy, but you could still hang your head high after losing by 3 points to the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like, because you were in that game, and I think if the refs had made some calls that they should have made, I think Dallas probably wins that game. So like, it's like we're losing to the Jets. You know what I mean? With Aaron, Zach Wilson, we didn't lose to Tommy DeVito. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, we're like, well, at least it said we're beating the teams we should be beating. You know what I mean? So I don't know what everybody's complaining about. Jerry Jones don't make the schedule. Dallas Cowboys organization doesn't make the schedule. They can't help.
Exactly. It's just a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Exactly.
Being a Cowboy fan.
And I want the Cowboy fans that listen to this that are of that variety that we talk about all the time, just go look up last night's game. Go rewatch Monday Night Football, and then come to me with a legitimate complaint about your team.
Yeah, exactly. Go watch Josh Dobbs throw 4 interceptions. Yeah, or Justin Fields not throw a single touchdown pass. Yeah,
and run, have all this running ability, but when his team, just go watch it. If you think the Cowboys are so terrible, go watch Monday Night Football from last night, and then come back to me. And if you still think the Cowboys are terrible, then you need to go pick another team.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
even I was like, dear Dallas Cowboys, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry I complained so much. That was like having a root canal every 3 seconds.
Yep, I told a coworker this on Mondays, like, all we gotta do is have Dak win a big game. I'm like, well, they beat Tampa Bay last year. That was a big game. He's like, I'm talking about this year. I'm like, well, no, that's bullshit. He's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, because you're gonna complain no matter what that guy does. So I'm like, so it's gonna get real stupid because you're one of these people that want to talk about how great Josh Allen is and stuff. And if Dak would have had the game that Josh Allen had and stuff on Sunday night or whatever it was, the Cowboy fans would be losing their shit right now.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. The national media, they can't shit on Dak Prescott right now because he's what is he? Number 1 in touchdown passes. He's like 4th in yards. He's 2 in completion percentage. He's at 70. And he's, I think, like 3rd overall in quarterback rating. So they can't shit on Dak. So now what we're going to do is we need to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk about who they've beaten. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about the fact that Dak Prescott has better numbers in every category than
Patrick Mahomes.
Than Pat Mahomes. We're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about who they've beaten. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the narrative. You know what I mean? ESPN, Fox 1 Sports has to talk about something with Dallas. So now let's pick on their wins.
Well, and even like Emmanuel Acha, who I literally cannot stand. Like, I cannot listen. His voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me. But also he went to the University of Texas, so boo. But he's not directly talking about the Cowboys today, but on Twitter, he gave his top 5. If voting for MVP was to be today and he was a voter, here's who he would vote for. And he didn't put Dak in the top 5.
Of course not. Of course not.
And so but then Micah had to comment and was like, are you kidding me? Because it was like Patrick, Jalen. I think it was Jalen.
Yeah.
Jalen was first. Patrick was second. But Trent Williams was 3rd or 4th. Trent Williams.
Yeah, our left tackle, right? Yeah.
And then like Lamar, and I can't even remember who the 5th one was. But then people start commenting about, well, what about? And then you throw up the statistics. Micah, God bless him, he threw up the statistics side by side of Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott, and they're literally, I mean, they're basically identical. And it's
the edge is going to Dak. Look at the numbers. Dak has better yards, touchdowns, less interceptions, and a better completion percentage.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to say it's like when we're saying this, we're not saying that Dak's better than Pat Mahomes. We're not saying any of that.
I'm not at all. No.
We're not saying that, but we're saying.
But I am saying 11 games in, if you want to create a narrative, 11 games in, they have exactly the same record and basically the same statistics with a little bit of a nod to Dak. So if you're looking at the 11-game season, like everybody wants to say, we're not looking at the past, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then look at the 11-game sample.
Yeah. They're going to always hold it against them. Patrick Mahomes has won big games. Dak has not. That's the narrative. And that's why, that's all it is. There is a Cowboys bias. You know what I mean?
Until he does.
Yeah.
So, until he does, and then what is it going to be? I mean, I think it's like some of these guys that hate Dak so much, their girlfriends have a thing for Dak. I mean, there's something internally going on that these people, it's just something wrong with them.
Yeah.
When you can sit there and tell me where you would rather have Lawrence or Burrow at this moment, there's arguments where you can say that true. But you're making an argument saying that you need somebody that's going to win a champion, has the ability to win a championship. College level championships is not the same as NFL level championships. If it was the same, everybody'd be doing it, right?
Exactly.
And Burrow, great quarterback, but hell, until they get a fixed offensive line with that team,
he's screwed. I know.
You might not hear from Burrow after the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's the honest to God truth, So, I mean, I just don't get it with this fascination where people feel like they must hate Dak Prescott. Because that's what, in my mind, that's what it's come down to.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense anymore.
It's clickbait, though. You know what I mean? We all know it.
Even Stephen A. said it. Stephen A. said it last week or week before last. He was like, "We do give the same energy to Josh Allen. It's just nobody cares."
Yeah.
But he said it. He said he flat out said. Stephen A. said we do talk about Josh Allen, but it doesn't get the attention, so we don't spend that much time on it. I mean, look, he flat out said we talk about Dak more because you people get engaged and it's more engagement for our shows and our social medias or whatever. He flat out said it.
I know you hate the Packers and you hate Rodgers, but
I do. Yeah. He got a little bit of grace back today.
Yeah.
People who play football or know football recognize Dak's good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Acho and LaShawn McCoy, they're just talking heads. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as one of the greatest top 5 to 6 quarterbacks ever to play the game. But to see him talk about Dak Prescott today, I'm like, damn. He knows football and he knows what's up. You know what I mean?
No. What did he say? I didn't watch that.
I'll send you the clip.
Okay.
I'll send you the clip when we get off of here.
Because he said, I hate the Packers probably more than any entity known to mankind. They're definitely in my top 2.
No,
he was just beating them in another group. Anyways,
he was just giving Dak props. He said he's looked like he's mastered the game. He said he mastered the position. It looks like, you know what I mean, with everything he's doing out there. He's not just putting up shallow numbers. Like he's actually really playing quarterback, you know what I mean? And he gave him a lot of credit. It was kind of funny, you know what I mean? He could have said it about anybody, but he said about Dak Prescott. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Because the reality is you can't have garbage numbers if you're not even playing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the crazy thing about it was it wasn't like it was lobbed up. Like they were talking about Pat McAfee was on the Pat McAfee show and he was kind of he was asking Aaron about that. Here we go, the cadence or whatever. And so they were asking some technical questions about cadences and stuff. And Aaron goes, before I get into that, I want to say, and he just went into this little minute or minute and a half kind of thing about how well he believes, he talked about he's getting to watch more football now because of his injury. And he said, Dak Prescott has become one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch because of how he has mastered the game right now.
Yeah, well, that's encouraging.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And y'all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. So.
Yeah,
he's kind of a weirdo. Yeah,
anything tied to him and Packers or anything, Jesus. But we mentioned the referees earlier. How does the NFL fix this? Because I mean, I know our fan base is always blaming the refs over anything, and it is pretty dumb, and it is ridiculous because half our fans don't even know the rules in some cases. But that being said, there's like blatant calls where the referee's standing right there not calling things. So so when does these fines happen that they're supposed to be doing? When do these reviews happen that they're supposed to be taking place? What's going on with this deal? What do you think about that, Lisa?
Well, the fact that it's not just like it's basically every team that plays the Eagles. Like it happened in Kansas. It happened in the Kansas City game.
Yeah.
Kansas
The
City fans were
Buffalo
up in arms.
game.
Buffalo, it was way more egregious.
That blatant
in the
horse
Buffalo
collar.
game.
Yeah,
It was a
damn
horse
jersey.
collar.
Ripped his jersey.
And they called intentional grounding on Josh Allen
exactly.
on that exact play. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so like even last night's game, there was a situation and the guy's face mask had been ripped off. Had come undone from like under his chin. It was like poking straight out. So he took his helmet off because obviously he was going to have to go get it fixed. They gave him a 15-yard penalty for taking his helmet off.
Stuff like that. Do you guys have any opinion about that? Was it the last catch? Was it a fumble or was it not? I thought that was actually a good call because I didn't think it was a fumble. I think it happened so fast they didn't have enough time to make a football play. You're
talking about in the Philly game?
Yes.
I don't know that I saw it.
I couldn't watch it. I turned it off because I couldn't stand to watch the Eagles win.
No,
I turned it off. I was so aggravated. I was like, I cannot watch anymore. When he made that field goal, that was it for me. I'm like, all right, I'm not watching overtime. I couldn't do it.
I didn't realize the field goal was so long. Like I was kind of watching it on my computer.
59 yards.
Because,
in the pouring rain, Lisa. In the pouring rain, a 59-yarder.
Yeah,
the ball was disgusting.
The ball was a little slick.
I couldn't believe it, Lisa. I was like, "Oh my god, you got me!"
So I had it on my phone because I was working a little bit, and so I'm pulling up my phone and I'm refreshing the score, and it was like, "Okay, they're up by 3. It's good, And all of a sudden, it's tied, and I'm like, "What?" Because it said my phone said 4th and like 17 from like the Buffalo 30 or 35 even maybe, and I was like, oh. Well, even if they have to kick a field goal, that is really long in the conditions. And then I was like, I'll be damn. It is tied.
Yep.
Yep. And it's just like every time they got in a hole, I'm not going to lie. I'm debating on trying to go to the Philly game, but I just don't. Really? I hate them so much.
Yeah.
And tickets are about twice. They're like the ticket prices between the difference between the Philly game and the Lions game where Jimmy's getting inducted is like it's ridiculous. Like the Philly game is way higher, and I'm just like, I just don't know. My nerves could handle it, especially because it's Sunday night.
Philly, and that could be for first place if they lose to San Fran and we beat Philadelphia, we have the same record. You know what I mean?
We could be in the same situation again, and let's go ahead and hop into Seattle real quick because I do think Seattle's going to be. It's not going to come easy. We're going to have to punch these guys in the damn face. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it. And Mike McCarthy mentioned earlier today that we're not peeking around the corner at Philly that we need to focus on. And I like that. I like a head coach to say something like that because that's the way. Yeah, that's definitely the page that I'm on because everybody. You might want to sit down for this. The Seattle Seahawks are an above 500 team. So hey, we'll see. And you know what you just did there, Kyle? After we demolish this team, that's exactly what they're all going to say.
Yeah.
Barely.
I mean, my thing barely is like, I have no faith in Seattle. I don't think they're like, Geno Smith is he's a guy's a career backup. They're not good. I'm looking at their stats right now. They average 20 points a game. We average 31. Their defense, they lit up 23 points a game. We only lit up 16 points a game. You know what I mean? Like, we're better than them in every statistical category. And I think, we should beat this team, so.
Oh, yeah, we should beat them, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it'll be like more in the ilk of what we've done the last couple of weeks where we had, had to kind of settle just a little bit, which I'm cool with. But I'm telling you, I don't want to jinx the thing because I want to know, a couple of weeks from now, if we're a half game up in the damn division, what is that damn dialogue going to be? And I will
Yeah.
be. So I'm telling you guys, I need this to happen in my life so much. It's even just for a week. If it's just for a week, because I want to see what other magical and mystical things some of these people will say. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, what's your thoughts, Lisa Lee? Are you worried about? You're not worried about Seattle at all either, huh?
I mean, I think it'll, like you said, I think we're probably, I almost said a word that would have had to be censored for sure. I think we're going to toy around with them for 2 quarters probably, and then it'll just be like, because I don't think unless they've retooled their offensive line that I'm not aware of, like I think their
Exactly.
offensive line is suspect. And so Dan Quinn, I think, and I don't, they have good receivers on the outside, but I just
their line's
don't.
terrible. Yeah, their line's terrible.
If they again, it'll be like just like Kyle said earlier. Okay, they're going to try to run it in the beginning. They're going to get down, and then they're going to start passing. And once any team, I put that up on any team, maybe with the exception of the 49ers. But even with them, like if we were able to get to him a couple of times, that's when they lost their 3. Brock was getting hit about every third. He was getting hit a lot. So. If we make a team abandon the run, I'm in. Like I would bet my life savings on a win for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like once we force their will to have to abandon that run, I like our chances.
They got a 41-year-old left tackle playing who they just signed off the couch 4 weeks ago. You know what I mean? That's how bad their line is. Jason Peters, who is 40 years old, is playing left tackle for them, and he just signed a few weeks back. Yeah, that's how bad they are on offensive line.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I hope it's just like I hope it's going to be a route. I hope it comes right away. But
I don't want to sound overconfident, but I think it will be.
I'm just at that point where it's just again we're at that spot. We're almost there. And we gotta execute. And it's like
so freaking frustrating because we said the week that we lost to Arizona, like that game will loom large at some point. And right now it is looming large.
Yeah, it's looming just like it's looking like that Big Mac McDonald's head. Remember that guy, the Big Mac tonight? He's looming like that. That's what that's what that loss is looming like.
But then also when we talked about it in the group chat, like Philadelphia is literally 3 teams shooting themselves in the foot away from being 7-4 versus 10-1. Like we shot ourselves in the foot. Kansas City's receivers couldn't have hit water from a boat catching a ball. I mean, like they couldn't catch a cold. And then the Buffalo thing, like you just gave up. I don't know if they went into prevent defense because I wasn't watching it, but they seem to be giving up chunk plays the other night.
The secondary was terrible. I told my buddy, they look like they have no idea what they're doing back there. They look completely lost. The entire secondary, like. How are these guys wide open? I'm like 3rd and long every freaking play.
You're right. So, I mean, that's how quickly it can change. And I don't know. I think Philly and San Fran play this week, don't they?
This weekend, yeah, Sunday,
yep.
yeah.
We need Philly to lose, obviously, because if we could get at least 1, possibly 2, if we could get home field advantage, that would be incredible, especially with the way that we're playing at home. Yeah. But if we could at least get 1 playoff game at home, like that sets up our, but I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping for at least realistically, I'm hoping for a one home playoff game and not playing the Niners. That's what I want.
What's funny? If the playoffs started today, we'd play Atlanta in Atlanta. They have that team's trash. I'm sorry, Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke are their quarterbacks. And the winner of that game would play Philadelphia if the playoffs started today. I'd be okay with that. I think this team is definitely. I think they're crushing Atlanta, and I think they could beat Philadelphia in the playoffs. 100%. I believe that.
Absolutely. I'm not there with the Niners because I just think we just match up against them horribly. So
and it's a giant mental hurdle.
Hell yeah, it is. And I don't want that mental hurdle in the playoffs. I mean, not in the playoffs. Either. So yeah, we could have that test in the regular season. Not now. But what else is there? Dak Prescott's going to be a daddy.
I love that so much.
Yay! And we can the funniest comment in the chat feed that we've ever had, that goes to Ron. We probably can't share on the air.
But the funniest part about it is you have to know Ron. Like Ron is as straight laced and as he's such a good human. Not that this makes him a bad human, but he's always like
funny. It was just funny. Yeah,
we're the ones that are high strung and we're saying things off the cuff, and Ron's kind of like the the middle of the road, not middle of the road, but like he's the calming source and all that.
Yeah, that was definitely something I probably would have said.
It's really funny. Like,
but yeah, we'll share that maybe someday. But wow. But yeah, I mean, we got another Thursday night game. I guess I'm going to ask you guys: do you have to have Prime to watch this game, or is it going to be here on locally here still?
It'll be local for you guys. If you're in the market, it'll be on NBC or Fox or whatever it is.
Okay, good. Because I don't want.
I have Prime. Yeah.
Well, I got to buy Prime because that new Eddie Murphy Christmas movie comes out on December 1st, so I'm going to watch that. So I guess I would have to get Prime anyways, regardless.
But they may have like a free trial, so you could just if the movie comes out December 1st, then like wait until Thursday morning, then you could kill two birds with one stone. You could get the free trial and watch the game and the new movie, and then.
See, that'll work. Yeah,
cancel your trial.
Yeah, I plan on doing a review of that thing and stuff. So I'll try and get that whole thing rolling again. But anyways, it's always fun talking about Dallas Cowboy football with you guys. Do you have any final words to the people this evening, Lisa Lee?
I don't. Just don't say dumb shit. Like, that's it.
It's coming though. There's a timer coming. There's a timer somewhere right now as we speak. It's like at the end of that time clock, it says time to say some more stupid shit. But
yeah, no doubt. And it's like people feel like they can't breathe if they don't make some polarizing clickbait-ish. And I'm talking to everybody across the board, whether you're a fan of this team or not. But it's like, I feel like you make yourself, if you're a fan of this team and you say something asinine, it increases the asininity by about 1,000%.
Yeah, it goes back to find yourself another team. That's what it goes back to, because there's literally people sitting there like in an Indian style, like rocking back and forth, waiting for Dak or somebody to mess up so they can say something or so they can make their post. And to me, it's just pretty sorry. How about you, Kyle? You have anything final to say to the people this evening?
No, I'm not saying this should be an easy win, but they should kill this team. I'm looking at the Seahawks last 4 games. They've lost 3 out of 4 of them. You know what I mean? They give up 37 points. They beat the Commanders by 3 points. They lost to the Rams, and then they got crushed last Thursday night against the 49ers. I think Dallas smacks them. And those could be infamous last words, but I really do. I think Dallas brings it to them. So. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm feeling confident. For the first time in a long time, I'm feeling confident about this team. So.
Yeah. And see, that's a thing about me that's the thing that's like bothering me, because I have that level of confidence about this team, but it's like I feel like if I get too damn involved with it.
Yeah, it'll be the one game where like they fumble 3 times and an interception. It's like and 3 missed field goals. Like, how the hell did this happen? I
feel like this is like a great relationship, and then all of a sudden they're gonna leave their phone unlocked one day, and I'm gonna see the messages.
You're gonna see the bag of collected toenails in the closet. Gross.
So, with that, I hope everybody had a great time listening to this program. We're glad that you guys tuned in to us, and we'll see you guys next time here on the Star Chronicles. How about them Cowboys?